Alright, so this one's gonna be one of those special videos where I just kind of go on a rant. Uh, One day, so I just read it while I was bored. I saw, I don't even know who he is actually. It's just anything that, it's just a Jungle Commandments, so I had to read it. I don't know who Najin Mokuza is. It's made by person named McNoon fan, so I would think it has something to do with McNoon and his team or something. I don't know. The way I read it, and I actually enjoyed the Ten Commandments, and it is something I've advocated in my videos a lot before. Like number one especially is one of my favorite. Don't gank a lane that's completely lost. That one is perhaps the one I refer to the most. I call it triage, and the history between calling things triage is just a quest in World of Warcraft where in order to upgrade your first stage you gotta decide which soldiers live and which soldiers die, and you have to tie. I mean, the critically wounded, something like that, like wounded, critically wounded, mortally wounded, whatever. You have to heal the ones in the right order before some of them died, etc., etc. Basically, when I declare triage on the lane, is the lane is losing miserably, and there's nothing that can be done to help them. That means either if I go to gank for them, either we will both die, one of us will die. It won't even matter. The effort needed in order to save the lane is far more, far exceeds the potential gain. So, abandon the failing lane. Sure, it's going to get you hated on by whoever the fuck is in that lane, and sure, that person is, if they're already bitching enough, they're probably going to go AFK, or they're probably going to cuss at you, whatever. Fuck them, they can fuck themselves. Next one is, don't gank a lane that doesn't buy a ward on its first back to base. This one's sort of sketchy, but it is true. It's like if the person's like, no, I can't buy this buy a ward because I'm saving up for my brutalizer black cleaver. Well, those motherfuckers are gonna make your job a lot harder. Though I will gank for them because most of the time I will give them a ward because I realize not everybody in solo queue is smart, or or yeah, they're just dumbasses. So that one, number two, is one of the lighter ones. I don't always follow that one. I just buy a ward for them because they're dumbasses. Number three, don't gank a lane that pushes out but doesn't ward. This one is, the greater version of number two. If the person is playing super aggressively and doesn't have ward, they're making my job so much harder. Because even if they did have ward, there was a chance that they could be ganked and killed. And like, I don't want to babysit them. I don't want to put more than one ward for them. These guys can go fuck themselves. They're done for. Worst off is, if they're pushing out their lane, you can possibly get a bush gank. Hide in the bushes, waltz in there, and then the second an opportunity arises, like either his opponent dumps on him and then you just jump out and attack him. Yeah, that could happen. However, because you don't have any wards looking out for you, their jungler might be thinking the same thing. So it becomes a 2v2, and if you're not the stronger jungler, or the laner's initiation was far better than how your laner received it, then probably both of you will die. Or you'll be, two dead on your side, one dead on this, whatever. It's still a loss for you. 4, dump the mid laner, doesn't come help leash. This one is this one has a lot of conditions, of course. Like you could imagine, if the mid laner can't leash for you, then it's okay. If the mid laner's doing something else and you get a good leash from another ally, I don't really mind it so much. But if your mid laner is just complete dick, or sits at his turret and goes, jack off in a corner while before the minions rise, yeah, he could go fuck himself. I mean, I will still have to probably gank for him because I want to win this fucking game. But, like, fuck it, I'm not going to sacrifice myself, and I'm not going to go out of my way to do it for him. I'll probably focus top lane or bottom lane. But this one ends up being in conflict with another one. You'll understand which one I'm referring to. Number 5, always be prepared for the enemy jungler to come counter jungle it. This one is the one I always tell people when I'm playing the game. When I'm jungling or in a team battle. Stonewall, if you use your contaminate, you go faster. Stonewall, if you used Ezreal's E, when I was doing a jungle video a while ago of Ezreal, if you used X ability to do this, whatever, you'd go faster. Yeah, I probably would. However, in a real situation, I probably want to use it to escape. I don't want to get killed. Like a guy said, why don't you take Ghost? You make your jungle clears faster. I'm like, why the hell would I burn a summoner spell? I would need it in order to run or gank or whatever. So, number 5 is very important. Always assume people are trying to murder you, and therefore keep at least your escapes ready. Stay in a high alert. Never drop your guard. Sorry, I'm a little bit out of breath because I have a cold. I'm not good in winter. 6. Help the lane that is already winning and help them ward the surroundings. This one, again, it depends. If top lane is, if you bury top lane, you can probably win the game just with that. Ward, like I already mentioned earlier, you ward for your teammates that aren't warding because they're either stupid or they haven't had a chance to back because they're pressing some massive advantage, like Singed usually. He doesn't go back, he just annoys everybody. I mean, he goes back for whatever. I'll continue that later. Bottom lane is usually the one who best receives this because if they're winning, you ward for them. You could go hunt their jungler in order to keep him from assisting bottom lane. Whatever. Bottom lane is the best recipient of this, and if they're winning, you help them win more, either by taking out their jungler, like I just said, either warding in spots they can't reach because they gotta stick together. Because I've seen it in players like even though bottom lane is winning, Sona or whatever goes off to ward, and then they see this happening. The enemy bottom lane just jumps that one guy. Now the lane is reset. Yeah. 7. Help out at mid as much as possible. Show your face even if you're just passing by. I do this a lot. You've seen in my videos. I just waltz right through middle and like, hey yo, I may stab at them or just mildly gank at them. I mean, mildly deal some damage. Yeah, it's just to show them, like, play safe, dude. Maybe just showing my face will force them to, when they go back, buy more than one ward. That's very important. You help them burn some of their early gold, which is beneficial because you don't want them to buy more potions. And yes, mid is usually the lane I try to gank for the most, even though it tends to be the more difficult one. Why? Because early game, your APs have the most, power. If you give the advantage to your AP mid, then they can push out the lane, force their AP mid out, and if you kill the mid laner, push out the mid lane, and your mid laner can go help you gank as well. More power is 4-man dive bot or 3. He roams top and kills top, and usually they're a lot stronger when it comes to ganking. So, I mean, compared to most junglers, like, I mean, Morgana coming down, that's pretty scary. Hell, even Brand, they pack that damage. So that's kind of why you want to gank for mid lane a lot early on, or, feed him. 8, before level 6, gank top at least once. This is the one I don't actually agree with. Sometimes the game is just, stale. There's nothing you can do regardless of, what's happening. So you just kind of farm. Then level 6, you go gank somebody. This one is just, again, towards the situation, and I don't think this one is that valid. It just, you gank for whatever you can, whenever you can. That's about it. 9, communicate with your support player on where the enemy wards are. Oh, man. If only support players would actually fucking do this. I hate showing up at bottom lane and thinking, oh, I'm like sometimes I will guess it right. Oh yeah, they don't have wards here, here, and here. Sometimes I'll guess it wrong, but that's because I wasn't watching at all times. I mean, I watch the map a lot, but I can't necessarily keep my eye on every lane specifically. So, I hope my support player or whoever I'm ganking for goes, yo, bro, he has got a ward here. Bottom lane, if you've seen some of the team battles, they don't fucking do that all the time. They tell me after the fact that I'm already there, and sometimes after I've been sitting there for 10 seconds. Sure, I know, it's hard to type while you're in the lane, but at least ping. I'll understand what your pings mean. And that's what's sad, is like they can't, like, support players should pay attention to the map and say, oh, our jungler is coming bottom, but there's nothing he can do. It's gonna be a waste of his time. I should warn him so he can do something else more important. I'm sorry, I'm out of breath again. Number 10. Even if you follow these commandments, losing games are still lost. There are games nothing can be done about. This is probably one of the most important things people have got to understand. You're gonna fucking lose. And I went on a rant about it, about, about Elo Hell another video ago. It's basically that. You will lose some games. If you're good enough, you'll win more than you lose. But you're gonna fucking lose. And you're gonna fucking suck. And you're gonna get mad. And it's not always gonna be your fault. Hell. It's like you're gonna I will go out and say that the jungler is the most thankless job in this fucking game. And that's why not a lot of people jungle. And in season 3, I've just noticed junglers getting even more shit than before. And it's become even less fun to do. And sorry I'm cleaning my computer as I'm also talking, so, because I won't explain why. Jungling is a thankless job. But, out of all these commandments, you can notice one thing. You're responsible for taking care of a lot of different lanes and taking care of them in a lot of different conditions. And not everybody's going to understand these conditions, like, oh, sacrificing top lane because they fucking failed miserably like dumbasses. They're going to get blamed for top lane. Hell, even your other laners might go, oh, because our jungler never ganked. If the enemy jungler ganks more than you, even though you possibly couldn't gank anything, they're going to somehow blame you for lack of ganks or for how many times the enemy jungler ganked. Whatever, you'll get blamed for everything. I mean, yeah, people will say supports get blamed too. Yeah, true, but not as much as junglers because support isn't taking care of top lane or mid lane. They're taking care of their AD ranged. Well, junglers gotta babysit everybody. Though it's kind of great to have. I mean, it's kind of fun to have some players that do understand. Like I remember one game where one top laner got his ass kicked, and he was laning versus Darius, and everybody knows Darius is a scary bastard. I couldn't help him. Nobody could. But he understood. He goes, I'm going to try to farm from a distance. Can you just ward for me? Just to see I don't get tower dove? Like, if I'm going to get tower dove, I'll just back off. And he did do that. He didn't get mad. He understood. He got destroyed. And nobody blamed him. And so I warded for him, and so he wouldn't get tower dove. And the enemy jungle Kazakhs went up there. He just backed off, and like he doesn't want to get tower dove. I got to go around and gank for mid, and I just fed the Morgana, which is why I kind of mentioned her in ganking, and she went ahead and destroyed bottom lane, and we won because of that. So, sorry, still sickness, but I digress. The 10 commandments of the jungler are pretty much what I agree with, and what everybody should hold dear. I mean, what most junglers should hold dear. And not feel bad about. The one thing, number one, is what a lot of players feel bad about, and I keep my main reason I'm making this video is because players keep asking me, Stonewall, how do you deal with people yelling at you or whatever, or getting mad at you for not helping them or whatever. The commandments pretty much covered that in a nicer way, and it's true. Just tell your teammates to go fuck themselves, and if they can't take the truth, then they can shove it up their asses. If they're too butthurt to take it out their asses, then they can suck it. Because you're doing your best. They're making it harder for you, and they can go fuck themselves. That's the summary. Also DTA, Stone Cold's little phrase. Don't trust anybody. If there's a job to be done, then your ass is gonna be the one doing it. Ward for them, and if they don't take advantage of the reward, then stop warding for them and abandon them. Help the ones who are already badass. Stick to the strong friends. Mid laner is better than top lane. Help the mid lane. Pretty much that. You are the jungler makes all the damn rules in solo queue. Fuck everybody else. You pick out the strategy, and if it doesn't work, then you guys lose. And if it works, and if it works, and you gotta make a few sacrifices, then go ahead. That's what I do all the time.